That's the one!
Hello, everyone. This is the best podcast we got. I'm Justin.
And I'm Steven.
And today we're talking about the biggest showdown of all time. Who is the better actor? John Travolta
Or Nick Cage.
And from that, you could tell I'll be representing John Travolta, Steve, Nick
The Cage, man. Of course.
The Cage himself.
The Cage. We've had this discussion this goes back maybe 2 years. We've been talking about who's the better actor, furiously stating our cases to everyone that we meet.
Yep.
And everyone is so polarized on this question. That everyone has an opinion. Everyone's like, it's just such a perfect question to ask.
I brought this up at my Christmas party, and everyone at work literally thought about it for 2 weeks. People were making Excel sheets of the ratings of their movies and how much their movies grossed over time. And it's funny, it all started a couple years back with me and Steven talking about this drunkenly at a party.
Yeah, I think it was one of the parties at our house.
Yeah, this was a couple years back, and lo and behold, we find out that Rotten Tomatoes makes this video just 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
And we had planned to do this for this show, and we missed the boat.
I actually think that was gonna be the first topic of this show.
Yeah.
I mean, we were gonna make it.
This podcast exists because of this argument.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, literally, we started this podcast because of that.
Yeah, we did. We were like, that would be such a good topic. We could go wherever on it.
It was put off as no. That's such a good topic. We're not going to use it on the first few episodes. We're going to wait a little bit.
And then it just never...
And it just never happened.
And then we were like, what's the next topic? Oh, how about the Nick Cage? And then I looked at Nick Cage versus Travolta. And then I look it up on YouTube. I'm like, this has to be a thing. Other people had to say this.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's such a... They're very similar. So it's... You would just think to draw this comparison about who's better. But only one video on there really was...
Yeah.
And it was Rotten Tomatoes... Literally 2 months ago.
Ahead of the curve.
I was so pissed. I was like, they beat us to it. But I do think we did state it on the podcast.
Yeah, we did.
We did talk about it.
If you look back at some of our early podcasts, we kind of made little hints here and there.
Yeah. Because we wanted to build it up. We wanted to, this is the one.
But now we just find out that it's
already been done. So now it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
All right. But we still got a lot to say.
I think we got a lot to say about it, and we're gonna bring that here today. So we have 3 main criterias that we're gonna be going over, and then finishing up with a conclusion at the end. So the first criteria is their box office metrics, how much money their movies have grossed. Second metric's gonna be their 5 best movies that we think are their 5 best, and then the opponent of each is going to present their 3 worst movies. And then we'll have a discussion around that, and at the end we're going to come up with a conclusion. Each of us will kind of put our last ditch efforts into swaying the audience into believing who is the best, and then we'd like to hear from you. So make sure you drop a like in there and check us out, and obviously leave a comment. Tell us who you think is the best of the 2 not A-list celebrities.
Yeah, I mean, let's get into that. I mean, by no stretch of the imagination are either of these great actors. They're pretty one note. They're they both had their heyday. Now they're kind of, I don't know. Nick Cage is getting a little bit of a resurgence. So
yeah. Well, you're talking about John Travolta, who had several resurgences throughout his life.
Yeah, but I mean recently. I mean, and I think really it was only the one resurgence.
No. I think
it was right after.
It was 5.
5 resurgence? No, he only came back
70s,
after.
He kind of tailed off, and then in the 80s, he came back with a couple of good ones.
Came back when he went downhill in his career after Saturday Night Live, Fever. And then he came back in Pulp Fiction.
No, he had to come back too in the 80s.
What, in the 80s? Wasn't that set?
Huh?
Wasn't the 80s?
No, his 70s was his first drop-off. Then he came back in the 80s. And then he had drop-off. Then, obviously, 90s with Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was in the 90s. Was that?
Yeah.
It could have been.
And then he had that more recently with that O.J. Simpson trial TV show everyone loved.
He was in that?
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah, that was his other resurgence.
You waving resurgence around.
These are his resurgence.
He had a spot on a television show.
A leading spot.
Come on. I mean, okay. All right, Nick Cage, for instance.
TV is the new movie. Okay?
Maybe. But I mean, movie-wise, he was also in that new movie, Fanatic, directed by Fred Durst, and I haven't watched it, but everything I've heard about it is it's so bad.
Hey, let's leave that to the end, okay? You're
all right,
trash talking over here.
And not only that,
let's get into the first, okay? The box office metrics, okay?
Okay. Well, this isn't surprising.
Yeah. So obviously of the two, if we're looking at them side by side, Nick Cage has a net worth of $25 million. His gross box office revenue was $8.2 billion. That's worldwide. And per movie, he made $155 million per movie. John Travolta, net worth of $250 million. That just because he manages money better, obviously.
Yeah, the network. The net worth shouldn't really come into
that's not the full factor. I just wanted to bring in
just
tear him down a little bit right there.
He's definitely not great with money.
His gross
choosing wives. Or staying married, I should say.
His gross worldwide revenue was $8.3 billion, so $0.1 billion more than Nick Cage, with significantly less movies, and that's average movie is $201 million per movie. So made. So if we're looking at just finance, just how much money people are willing to pay to watch these movies, John Travolta has the edge there.
What financially, I don't know.
By $55 million.
But even the movies, just because a movie took a lot to make doesn't make it good.
No.
Big budget movies fail all the time.
No. These movies, it's not based on budget. This is how much revenue they brought in.
The movie's revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So this is with significantly less.
Likes Travolta that much. Like, Nick Cage has been in such better movies. I'm not saying obviously, let's address this right off the bat. Pulp Fiction is a masterpiece of cinema and is better than anything Nick Cage has been in. Mm-hmm. And it's not just because Travolta.
I don't think that's Travolta's highest grossing movie either.
It's definitely probably his most renowned. Yeah, that was the most iconic role I think he played. Mm-hmm. Because it
would either be that
Vincent
or
Vega,
Grease or.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. If you come and ask
Saturday
me,
Night Fever,
who's the better actor, though? What films do I like better? Nick Cage has been in at least 8 to 10 movies that
Nick Cage has also been in 1 million movies.
He's been in quite a few. He just does not turn down.
And that's what skews his metric here is obviously this isn't including all of his movies. This is just including the ones that he starred in and the ones that actually went to box office. So these are only the box office numbers.
He has a litany of direct-to-DVD movies.
You can just go right to Redbox and get a Nick Cage movie.
He has so many. He pops them out. I just seen today, he's in a movie with Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's a weird combo.
That's a weird combo. He has a weird mustache, like a I do coke and porn kind of mustache. It's what are you doing, dude?
But so obviously I think for the first section you gotta give
the edge to the numbers don't lie.
John Travolta per movie is making more money.
It's the thing though, what has he been in that was so good?
I mean, you want me to go right into the 5v5? That's the next section.
Yeah. Let me.
So I'm going to list, these are not in any sort of order, but here's the 5 movies that I have. So for John Travolta, I have the best 5, and this is just me. I didn't go by ratings because some of the other ones I didn't see. But John Travolta has Pulp Fiction, Carrie, Hairspray, Saturday Night Fever, and Grease. And I put some notable mentions in here. Get Shorty and Blowout. I thought Get Shorty was good.
Dude,
I really like Get Shorty.
Travolta was in Carrie, like, 2 scenes.
Oh, he wasn't?
Yeah. He was in that, like, 2 scenes, literally.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. That's like me saying Fast Times at Ridgemont High was one of the best Nick Cage movies. He's in it for, like, a scene.
No.
Yeah.
Fine, if you want, I'll put Get Shorty in there. I thought that was an
Get Shorty wasn't a bad movie. It was pretty good.
I thought it was a great movie.
I liked Be Cool better, the sequel to that.
Blown Out was apparently one of his great movies, too.
I never even heard of Blowout.
That's in 1981.
Was that like, you seen that?
No, I never saw it. But it was all over his ratings in his top, like, 3 movies. I never saw the movie, though.
I think he is, like, getting away from... No, that's another...
He's, like, on a ship, a Navy ship.
Oh. Yeah, no, I've never seen that.
Sound like it might be a submarine.
But any of those movies, obviously, I already praised him in Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, and obviously with the diversity here, getting into Hairspray.
Yeah, but he can do some comedic roles, but he's still... Because he's just so... He has 2 modes. He's either, like, a psychotic killer badass guy... Or he's just an idiot.
Yeah.
Like
I think you're missing this cool guy. He's the cool guy.
Even when he's cool, it looks like nothing is going on behind his eyes. There is no gear turning. It's just like 1,000-yard stare. He is so non-emotional, or he doesn't emote well until he goes over the top, and then he just has like nothing. And then he's all over the place.
You're talking a little about Nick Cage too.
Exactly, but Nick Cage has made it an art form about the fucking.
He hasn't made it an art form. He just overacts.
No one comes close to that overacting that shit. He does it so well.
Yeah.
There's you put Nick Cage in like almost any random movie.
Well, let's hear your 5.
All right, my 5: The Rock, Con Air, Kick-Ass, Snake Eyes, and Going to 60 Seconds. I love all of these movies.
Yeah.
And if I had to choose between only watching these 5 or your 5, I would really miss out on Pulp Fiction, but I don't give a shit about...
Saturday Night Fever or Grease?
No, they weren't. I'm not a big fan of them.
You don't like the 80s?
I like the 80s. I love 80s music.
The 70s, too.
I like 70s music. It's just... Me personally, I don't want to watch Grease. I watched it once out of, like... respect to the film because it's such a high, praised film. It was okay. It was like, all right.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was okay. I thought it was like, and then Saturday Night Fever.
That was a good movie.
He was just a total dick in that movie. Like I didn't like his character.
He's the cool guy. That's what he plays. He plays the cool guy. Like, and that's what that era was all about.
It was just, I don't know.
Like we were born in the Nick Cage era. Well, not that it was ever called the Nick Cage era.
Never.
But like he was around when we were growing up.
Yeah, but
like Nick Cage error.
Yeah.
But his movies, this cool guy is like Nick Cage is never cool. Like in a film. Like he's like the quirky badass, if you can call it that.
You can't.
And because it's weird. He's more like a coked out crazy person.
Yeah, that's
like more closer. But his movies generally are like I'd rather watch his movies over Travolta's, with the exception of Pulp Fiction. Because I mean, look at like
I would rather watch Pulp Fiction over any of those movies.
I said I'd miss it. I would.
I think it's better than all those movies.
I said Pulp Fiction is better than anything Nick Cage. I already succeeded to that.
Yeah,
but I don't think it. Like, one movie can't define an actor. Like, you have to go by the whole.
Yeah, exactly. I think he has a good.
I was looking over Travolta's films on the IMDb, like his filmograph. However you pronounce that. Filmography.
Yeah.
Wow, nailed it.
But, got like 80%.
But like he's not in a lot of good movies at all. Like he's in like.
Well, can you really even talk with Nick Cage?
Yes. Look,
he's not in a lot of good movies.
He is in a lot of fucking good movies. Like
he really tails off.
He does. Even his bad movies are like people talk.
And you don't even have his best movie on there, National Treasure.
That's not his best movie.
That is his best movie.
I don't think it's his best movie.
It's probably his best grossing movie.
The Rock was his best. One of my favorites. He does have a few though. But like back to what I was saying, like even a bad Nick Cage movie,
Yeah.
he somehow makes it kind of doable. But in like Wicker Man, right?
Yeah.
Arguably one of the best bad fucking B movies ever made.
Bad movie.
It's a bad movie, but the extremes that it dips down, like to the bad areas, is fucking hilarious. Like he pulled a win out of that humongous pile of shit.
I would never say that was a win. That movie
It's
was a win.
hilariously bad. Like it's so funny just to watch because like the filmmaker I think tried to take it seriously.
Yeah.
And it's just so bad. It's a comedy.
But he's like, I'm Nick Cage.
No,
this isn't going to be a serious movie at all.
The best part about that movie is like they're about to sacrifice some kid, I think, to like some kind of pagan god, whatever. And they're all like parading up to the hill, and they're all dressed in costume and stuff like it's a parade.
Yeah.
And he dresses up in like a bear suit. Like it's just a human bear suit, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing the ritual and everyone's quiet, praying and stuff like that. And they're about to like kill the kid, and randomly he just walks up in front of the crowd on top of the altar and punches the fucking priest. Like it's such non-tact. Like it's just like what, you know? And then he has a few scenes in that movie that are great. But even like his shit movies, he brings something to the table. Like Travolta's just
being a
flat.
clown?
Yeah, you got something there.
I don't know.
Like most, like he plays he's better. He plays a better bad guy, I think, for sure.
I don't think he plays a better bad guy.
Oh, yeah, Face Off is a perfect testament of how better of a bad guy he is because they take turns being the bad guy.
Yeah. Well,
Nick Cage in that beginning scene when he's a priest.
But he had the better scene though. Because when it turns to Travolta, he does really good as the bad guy.
Well, I don't think so. I think, my opinion, Nick Cage was just way.
I like John Travolta.
Like, all right, Nick Cage is a bad guy on some things. Mostly he's the good guy, but whenever he does be the bad guy, it's fucking like I want to see the face-off villain in his own movie and like being the villain like the whole movie. I think that would be great. Maybe that movie exists and I haven't seen it. But like in Snake Eyes, it's close. Like he plays just a sleazy, like a detective or something like that, and he's in during a boxing ring, and he has a boxing event and has to figure out like some assassination plot. It's like a film noir, and he's the detective, but he's also Nick Cage.
Yeah.
So he's just fucking crazy the whole movie. It's great. He's just bumbling around like he doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, this brings me to Nick Cage's three worst. I mean,
all right.
I have Grand Isle, Deadfall, and Left Behind.
I've seen Left Behind. That was bad.
Left Behind was really bad. I saw Deadfall too. That was really bad. Grand Isle is supposedly one of the worst movies Nick Cage has ever been in. I've never seen the movie, but I watched the trailer and a little bit of a review of it.
Yeah.
It was awful. Not good. But it's the classic, like, it's like an action fucking Nick Cage, and it just sucks. You know, it's like the classic suck Nick Cage
fell on his face there.
It's like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna be an action hero in this one.
Let me give you some of another awful Nick Cage movies. And I know I'm working against it here, but like The Knowing was just dog shit. Yeah. That was just him phoning it in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Horrible movie. That, and then he's in a movie called Annapolis.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm butchering the name of that. It's like a World War II battleship, and they're going to drop off the bomb or something in Midway, and it's like the same ship that the guy from Jaws was in, and they get eaten by sharks. They have a lot of cast members in there that are good. Thomas Jane's in it. Like, I'm like, all right, Thomas Jane, and it's like he's in some good shit, and it's like we watch that movie, and it's like so bad.
I was saying that some of these movies have like some good, like Deadfall looked like it had like a decent cast in it, and it just
some of them I miss
was bad.
Oof. But
that's the one where he's like where they're trying to get the guy to take the fall for a diamond heist crime, basically. Have you ever seen that?
No, I never seen that one.
But you watched Left Behind, and that was pretty.
That was a terrible movie.
But
I mean, like, Travolta doesn't do
everything on the plane is broken. I can't possibly land it. I'm a pilot.
See, look how like fun that is, though. Like, just to see that is entertaining. Just to see that performance, like, it's great. Like, even alright,
there was nothing about that movie that was great.
No, well, I don't know. Maybe it has some gems. But I think for those of you that want to like really see Nick Cage at like his top peak of performance-wise, I heard it's a movie called Adaptation.
Yeah.
He plays a screenwriter.
Yeah.
And then his brother is an actor, I think, or something like that. And I've seen the trailers and some reviews on it. And like that's his most him acting. Like he's really trying and going for it. He plays two different characters in the movie, like the two brothers.
Yeah.
And supposedly that's like the height of his ability to act. Mm-hmm. Is like right there. But like he either nails it in some midway in all like his action movies and like the direct to DVD shit, and he has like a unique. He brings something to a movie that's only he can bring, and I don't get that with Travolta.
I don't see anything that you're saying.
Really, you don't? No?
I really don't.
Like he brings something to the table.
I think he does. He brings the movie down.
No, you know it's so weird, right? Because he might detriment the film, but people will like. Listen, he might, but he's better for it. It's weird.
It's not.
We talked about this.
We talked about this
It's a
before.
good bad. It's like a good funny bad.
Get to your three bad Travolta movies.
All right, Battlefield Earth was one of the worst fucking science fiction movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
It was so bad. I mean, and they thought this shit was gonna be the next Star Wars.
Well, that was like Scientology, the sponsor.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with that. Yeah, and God, just a fucking train wreck.
Yeah,
and then I got I'm pretty sure Frantic is awful. Might be his worst performance. That's directed by Fred Durst.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna say that, but for it to be like really fair about it, I hadn't seen Frantic, so I'll say Look Who's Talking.
Yeah,
with the babies that talk, and he's just an awful father because like these babies are just doing crazy shit. And he's never around. He just plays a dick. Like it's not like Nick Cage being a dick because he has like a character. John Travolta, when he plays like the dad, he's just a douche. Like he's just, like in Domestic Disturbance when he plays he's the dad, and then Vince Vaughn is like the psycho stepdad.
Yeah,
in that movie, he's so flat, like the whole movie, and he's kind of a dick.
Yeah,
he's just so flat.
So kind of like Nick Cage's personality on the general.
In the general.
General sense of
no way. He always has flair to it. He's on the fucking screen.
He doesn't have flair.
Oh yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. He just has craziness.
Yeah, but the craziness is great.
No, it's not.
It is amazing.
Like you ruined so many movies.
Listen, Travolta, he brought something.
Look, they gave him like one really big budget movie, and it was Ghost Rider, and it sucked.
He's been in I don't want to say
National Treasure. Yeah,
National Treasure. Big budget. Is big. Yeah. The first Ghost Rider. I think his cast is like him as Johnny Storm. I think his name is Ghost Rider.
I don't remember his name.
No, Johnny Storm is the Flame from Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're right. What's his name? I forget his name too. Check that out. But anyway,
Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze. Close.
He's on fire.
Yeah. I don't know. But he is better. He is a good choice for Ghost Rider. But the script of that movie, was awful. They picked not a great villain, and they didn't even do the villain that great. Sam Elliott, I think, was in that, and he played a good part too. But even the action in it was good. But
I mean,
the second one,
big budget. 2000s. You're expecting a little.
You don't give Nick Cage a budget. Because he
will spend it like his net worth.
There's a difference. Listen, there's a difference between like a high actor, right? Like an actor performing, making like a serious movie.
And
Brad
Nick Cage is something called in a pulp film, like a grindhouse film. Like they're not high art, but they're art. Like, they're cool to it, but it's not. It's like
It's art to somebody.
it's a B fucking action. It's like a B movie, but he is like one of the kings of the B movie.
So
Yeah.
he is like the flea market.
Yeah,
Of,
he is like that. Like
He's the
different-
flea market to the mall.
to the mall. Yeah, he's like so obviously. I think he's awesome.
You didn't. You
Oh, and the last
finish
one
your
is
one.
the boy in the plastic bubble. Jake Gyllenhaal just killed him in Bubble. I mean, the movie was just sad. It was like just sad, but also terrible because he can't act for shit, and his like sad face is just like
I don't know.
so fucking stupid.
I think he can act. I think he has versatility, just not a lot, and neither does.
I don't
Cage.
think either of them have versatility.
I think they
They
do
have-
a little bit because, like, I mean,
don't
like
know.
I said, he can go from the cool guy to literally being a woman in Hairspray.
Yeah, but Nick Cage was a woman in Moonlight or Moonshine.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
a little
but
bit of
they-
versatility.
Or-
Just because they played a woman don't mean they were good at it.
a little bit of comedy here and there. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, to put on a dress does not give you range acting wise. Like they both suck at acting.
hey, we tried to put you in a dress and you
Yeah, I
didn't
said
want
hell no.
Say it worked.
I would look way too pretty.
It almost worked.
to. I mean, but here's the thing, and here's we'll get into our last closing points here. I think that, like, iconically speaking, John Travolta has been in bigger iconic movies. Like
He's been in 3. He's been in Grease. He's been in Saturday Night Fever and Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, he's been in Carrie too.
yeah, for 2 seconds.
He wasn't in there for 2 seconds.
He
like
was
a little bit.
He was not in there for a while. Like he was he wasn't in there much. Like if you want to include that, I'll include Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and that was an iconic film.
He was, but he was in there a lot less than.
But
He barely talked.
Slightly less. Like slightly less.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess iconic. Again, he's not that kind of actor. He's the Pope.
But what I mean, that's what I mean. In 50 years from now, which films would be remembered more?
Think about it now. Think about all the grindhouse and pulp action movies from the 70s that made a resurgence.
I
like
think
Bullet.
people, like, 100 years from now, people are going to be talking about Pulp Fiction. They won't be talking about any Nick Cage movies.
I think they will a little bit.
Who?
Me? I'll tell
You're
the future
you're aiming
generations.
for 60. You're not making it 100 years.
Well, I'll tell someone in 30 years. I'll tell the podcast will be on the computer forever, on the internet,
On the interwebs.
on the interwebs.
I don't know what American Freak's gonna
You know what though? Like, iconic wise, he hasn't gotten to the point of Pulp Fiction, but like he has a more. How do I say? More better movies, if that makes
More
sense.
better movies.
He has more movies that are better. Like, not shit movies. He's in more
shit movies.
better movies.
We talked about this in the beginning, though. Like, Nick Cage,
He's
he's
about
like
20 good movies.
he's like throwing darts at a
Yeah,
board.
but
he just
works.
keeps filming movies.
He's in about 20 decent movies, right? Travolta's in 3 good ones.
No, Travolta has a list of good movies.
I
told you,
don't
I told
any
you
of them.
before, like
I looked at his whole film.
like
I don't know
people like I like Swordfish. Like if it's on the TV, I'm gonna watch it. He's the villain in that. I think he does a pretty good job as the villain there. Some people don't like the movie. I like it. I think it's a good movie.
Let me ask you this:
If it's on TV, I'm gonna watch it.
if I was gonna, how about we do this? 3 other decent Travolta movies that I watched that weren't bad was Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
That wasn't bad. Like, that's the Travolta that I can tolerate.
I like that movie too.
I thought it was okay. Another one was
Plays a villain there too.
Yeah, which is, I think
That's his older.
It's
As he got
better.
older, I think that's his role.
now that's his role. And then another one was From Paris with Love. Not a good movie at all, but his part in it was pretty cool. Like, he plays just a psycho, like, secret agent spy guy.
Yeah.
And he did okay in that role. Because, like, he got big. Like, he was physically intimidating.
Yeah.
You know? And then, there was another one that I thought he was good in. But I forgot.
But I forgot.
The rest of the country.
And
I just think, just the quality, the amount of movies that he has, and the quality of the films that he's in, I think he's just.
And I think if you're
better.
looking at two different audiences, I think if you're talking to people who are older, they're gonna go John Travolta all the way. Where you talk to somebody younger, I think they're saying.
I don't think so. I think if you like action movies, you'll probably like Nick Cage better.
I don't think so. I think
Because
if you were born at the time when John Travolta was making good movies, you probably would pick him. If you were around in the late 70s and 80s.
Yeah, but I mean, even in his films though, in the 80s, they were tougher, cooler people than John Travolta.
He was just known as the cool guy.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a million cool guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not
There's a million fucking
listen,
action guys.
there is, but none of them.
And I know they all get hired over Nick Cage.
No. He's the bottom of the barrel for sure, but he's gonna take any job. But they don't act like Nick Cage. Nick Cage brings something to those shit movies.
Yeah, he does, but like I said, not good
All right,
enough.
let me ask you this.
Not good enough.
Do you think he's definitively, do you think Nick Cage is a better action movie person than Travolta?
I don't know, because that's just not Travolta's full role, right? He's usually the bad guy or the cool guy, or he plays in something like Wild Hogs, where he's just the funny guy.
It's just.
And that wasn't a great movie. It had a couple funny parts.
So okay, if you're into the weird shit that Travolta's in, then you're most likely a Travolta fan. But if you like the action, the pulpiness, you'll like Nick Cage.
No, I think there's two kind of.
I don't
people.
think it's a generational
There's people who
thing.
like Nick Cage and people who dislike him strongly.
Yeah,
that's.
Well, I'm sure the same could be said about Travolta.
There's some movies that you're that could be a good movie, and then Nick Cage is in it, and you're like, wow, I was really disappointed.
You know what?
If you paid money to go see Ghost Rider, you probably would be a person who did not.
I rented the second one.
I saw that in movie theaters.
Way better. The second one was so much better than the first one because they were like, all right, don't try to be no one else, just be Nick Cage as the Ghost Rider, and when you morph into the crazy flaming skull guy, be like Nick Cage times 10. Just be fucking completely crazy and over the top. And it was rated R too, so it had free reign to just go full psycho, and it was just a better movie. It was cool.
I don't know.
I actually enjoyed the second Ghost Rider. I didn't totally hate the first one. It was watchable, but it would suck. It wasn't great.
Imagine if you paid $10.
Huh?
How many stars would you give Ghost Rider?
Out of what? How many?
5.
Out of 5, I'd give it a 2. Give it a 2.
Yeah, 1.5.
Yeah.
Fighting so hard for it, but give it a 2.
Because you know what? This is the thing too. I like bad movies.
I know.
You really do.
I love bad movies.
Steven loves bad movies.
There's a
terrible
certain kind of bad
I
movies.
bring this up every time because this is why when we all watch movies together, I'm like, no. Because we were looking for a Halloween movie one time, people.
Okay.
And one of the options that came up was The Barn.
No, was it The Barn? Was that the name of it?
Yes, it was. It was something like that. It has to do with fucking 1978 level costume makeup of clowns in a barn, and they're all being creepy. We're all like, awesome. Oh, this is cringy. Steven thought it was the best thing since
He's like, I'm gonna go and watch this movie in
this
my
was
room.
in the style of the old cheesy fucking 80s 70s 80s horror films, and they did it looked like it was made in the 70s or 80s. It looked like the filters or whatever they used. I was like, yeah, that movie was fucking made for me. I love it. I didn't watch it, but I'm a big fan of Hatchet, the newer ones that were throwbacks, all the older The Lighthouse looks good. I haven't seen that. That's extremely old. Yeah. It's a little bit of a jump. It looks good.
That's the gray. It's new, but it's in gray.
I'm surprised that
it's from 2016.
Right. It's newer, but it's old fashioned.
No, that's what I'm saying. I like the style of the older movies, the graininess and all that stuff. A better example would be Grindhouse from Tarantino. what was it? Death. What the fuck was that? No, Death Proof. Death Proof and Planet Terror. Like that grimy kind of film, like that style. I like that. And like the old, just a shitty B horror movie or action movie, I fucking love. So it's all preference.
That only gets a pass because it's in the same universe as Spy Kids, and I fucking love Spy Kids.
Those movies were awesome.
The Spy Kids movies were good.
No, I never watched Spy Kids. I can't judge. So.
Oh, you never watched Spy Kids?
I never once watched Spy Kids, but yeah.
Shit that is their uncle. It's amazing.
It's a good.
Yeah, it's in the shared Robert Rodriguez universe with Machete and Desperado. Yeah.
They but so you're sticking your guns.
I'm saying I'm just on the amount of good films starring Nick Cage that he pretty much carries the roles. Mm-hmm. I gotta say he's a better actor just because he's in more movies that way. I can't just let
quantity doesn't mean quality.
Yeah,
I think John Travolta's in more quality movies.
One or two, like the Grease and the Saturday Night Fever. For me, I don't love those films. I love Pulp Fiction, and again, I cannot win this argument because I'm saying Pulp Fiction is better than anything Nick Cage has ever been in.
Yeah.
But since that has happened, John Travolta has never reached anywhere close to the height of that. At least Nick Cage has been consistent in his career. Like he is Nick Cage, boom. You know? Like he's hasn't really fell. He hasn't really gone up. Like he's gone up a little bit with the.
I wouldn't say he hasn't fell.
No, he's in.
I don't think he gets.
You watch. It's like this. Sometimes he's in the lot of like it's 50-50 nowadays on a Nick Cage film of whether or not it's a good movie or not.
I think it's just less than 50-50.
Yeah, sometimes it brings it. Sometimes they're just awful. Like sometimes he's just in some bad movies.
This is the thing. Is like. I think they were like, oh, let's take Nick Cage serious after National Treasure.
Yeah.
They get him Ghost Rider, and then it's just like...
No, what happened was, I think I found out what happened. I think he spent all of his money.
Yeah,
after
$150 million.
Yeah, I think it was after National Treasure. Like, he made the money and then lost it all.
Yeah.
And needed money. So then he was just hungry for work. And he just grabbed any script and was like, pay me. Yeah. I'm gonna be playing a grasshopper. Oh yeah, great. Yeah, sign me up for that one. I think he was just so hurting for cash. He'd just be like, I want to be in fucking 20, 50 movies. I don't want to stop working this year. Yeah. I owe the IRS a ton of money, so like, give me that role. Yeah. I think it was more of a job. Like, but he's been in when he brings it. He's in a good movie. He's fucking consistent.
Consistently sucky.
But again, Travolta has never been as good as Pulp Fiction. Like even
what do you mean? He is in Pulp Fiction, so he is good.
I said Travolta's has never been as good as in Pulp Fiction.
I mean, like I said, if you look back at his older movies for the time, I think those were great movies of the time.
I don't prescribe to that because I like old movies. Mm-hmm. I'm not like if like I like a lot of older movies versus newer movies. Mm-hmm. So I don't fall into that. I can biasly judge a movie.
Yeah.
And like just by story alone, and just Grease and Saturday Night Fever are not my movies that I would like.
You like the shit old horror movies.
I like the shit action movies and the shit horror movies. Yeah. I like the style of it.
Yeah.
Like if I could make a movie, it'd be like that.
Barn.
Like I know my art. Yeah, and it would be the barn. But it'd be like I like the aesthetic. I just love it. I love me a B movie.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just a certain
and
audience.
That's the draw to
Nick Cage. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's been I like more of his films than Travolta. I gotta say, he's better in my opinion because of it. I can't just hang up the best acting hat on Travolta for the one role that I thought he was good in.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's played in a lot of good roles. Of like this is the way I look at it. Is like every time I've watched a Travolta movie, I wasn't like, oh, that like it doesn't make me hate Travolta. Every time I watch a shitty, it just makes me hate Nick Cage.
Well, you either love him or you hate him, I guess. When it comes down to it,
and that's the thing is like, for you like him, but for me, it's like of the two, every time I watch him, I'm less disappointed in Travolta. Like the only bad movie I watched of Travolta was Battlefield Earth.
Oh, that one was bad.
That one was bad.
They had like a semi-cool premise to it too, and then just dropped it.
Yeah, they dropped the ball, man.
Oh, here's another interesting fact that I did research. In John Travolta, he had 10 movie reviews.
That like the average of it was less than 10.
Yeah.
Like on Rotten Tomatoes, or it was like one star, or the lower end of it. And then he has 5 movies that were above 90%, or 4 stars.
Yeah.
So that's and then Nick Cage,
he has 13 reviews under 10%, or 1 star. And then he has, I think,
10 reviews over 90. So
yeah,
I think that has to do with just the frequency,
the sheer
of the films.
volume.
Yeah,
of
just
films.
the amount of movies has been.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's right there. Really, that for me, it was like he's in more.
I think
roles
he's just
that
in
are
more
good.
roles because he needed the money.
Yeah, it's so good.
With Travolta, he's sitting on $250 million. He doesn't need
He
doesn't need to make any more movies.
Isn't he a Scientologist?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Scientologist thing. Yeah,
That's why he was in Battlefield Earth.
he was in the South
Now,
Park.
if they put Tom Cruise in that movie.
Listen, I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise, but fuck, he's been in so many good movies.
If we were to do another version of this, and I was to pick Tom Cruise, who would you go with? Who's on the same level of Tom Cruise?
It's Tom Cruise.
Because I think Tom Cruise is A-list.
Yeah, he's clearly A-list. I don't know. I want to say like maybe Brad Pitt, but
Ooh, you could.
But I also like Brad Pitt.
I like this is like
Brad Pitt would win that debate.
I like
think he might.
yeah. Brad Pitt might have more
Yeah.
like range maybe.
Yeah. But that's a tough one.
Yeah,
Well, actually, I mean, range-wise, I think...
they're both
I don't
equal.
know,
Yeah, maybe they're about equal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not.
Brad Pitt I feel like Brad Pitt plays the same kind of role, whereas Tom Cruise, I think he's played a little bit of different,
I think
here and there.
mostly the same.
but mostly the same. Yeah,
He was.
I
in
mean,
the,
yeah.
I think it was
Mission
in
Impossible, Jack Reacher. I mean,
the 80s though. I think 80s, early 90s. He was in like a streak of like romance movies. Of like he was like a quirky
I
like.
know who the Nicolas Cage equivalent is. Well, not nearly as bad, but if you want
To
to
Tom
do
Cruise?
that, Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
Yeah,
fucking
Keanu
Keanu Reeves. I like
Keanu Reeves versus Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I'd go there. I'd take
We'll
that.
do that.
We'll do that.
We'll do that one.
I love how we just like
Rotten Tomatoes,
just
knock
go-
it off. Don't
Yeah.
steal that too.
All right.
So Rotten Tomatoes.
So everyone,
the next
you heard it from us. We didn't change our minds. Steven's sticking with Nick Cage, and I'm sticking with Travolta. So tell us below in the comments who you think the better actor is of the two. By no means do we either of us think either one of them are A-list.
Yeah, they're not A-list.
Who do you think is the better of the two? Let us know in the comments below. And definitely like and follow us on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And then obviously check us out too on Patreon, where you can support us, give us more ideas like this here. Check us out, yeah. Thanks, everyone.
All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.